everybody. This is Fanny. I hope you're doing great, having a great day. I'm not having a great month. It hasn't been a good time for me, but it's exactly why I wanted to make a video actually to share a little bit my thoughts and for who cares. Do some cards, spirit animals, talk about the trip in Peru a little bit, and maybe send out a message for some people who could feel the same and to mostly not get too caught up on social media. So my intention, I'm trying to actually look for a job just to disconnect from social media because I've been sucked in, and there's a lot of things that attract you on social media, and you get lost in it, and you realize that life don't really follow, and that can create a big dissonance, between your hope, your expectations, and what you actually manifest. And so I was going to talk a little bit about that and the trip to Peru and the Pachamama, which is why I started all my videos, all my art. So of course I'm disappointed because I have all my work on my Instagram. There's been my page has been taken down. So probably because one of the pictures you can barely see, I'm topless, not even, I'm wearing something that's a little transparent. And of course, when it's guys posting pictures of them, in swimming suits, it's not a problem. But when it's a woman, then it's indecent. So I actually did that on purpose because, there is now people get offended for stuff that really don't matter, and it's unbelievable. Like last time I was driving like 5 miles per hour over the speed limit. I got arrested. And in the meantime, you have criminals and you have people spraying chemtrails in the sky and nobody does anything. But, oh my God, we saw a piece of your boob, or you were driving 5 miles an hour over the speed limit. Let's put all the police, focus on that instead of the real matters of life. Anyways, there's a lot of things that really bother me, and we want people to spread positivity. And I used to be Miss Positivity. Like all my friends, like everything I would do, like even my friends, they would be like, oh my God, everything that you do in your life, you succeed. It's even annoying. Like you had the perfect marriage, you find a job everywhere you go, you find an amazing job, you travel all around the world, and I really never thought that I could go through a depression, and since my divorce, even though my situation is not catastrophic, I have a beautiful house, I'm healthy, my son is super healthy, we travel, all I need is a job. I just need a job, I just need a paycheck, I need to buy my house. That's my only problem in my life right now. So it's not that desperate, even though after you apply for jobs countless times. I've applied so many jobs. I've tried to write to so many people to create partnerships. I do believe that I had amazing content on my website. I spent years creating an amazing website with articles, books, oracles. I never let any obstacle stop me. And of course, I had been mentored by the best in the world, and I've had my own guidance and passion that continuously guided me, right? And never stopped me. But besides that, and like Tony Robbins says, being driven by something bigger than you. And this is what kept me going all of these years, even though I was never making a paycheck. I have the only paycheck, okay, I'm gonna open up the only paycheck, real paycheck with my art that I've had, besides selling a couple of paintings here and there, a few $100, $1,000 here and there, is my order to the Children's Hospital, where I made $10,000 for the collection of 30 paintings, which is a reasonable price given 30 paintings. I mean, 6 months of work. So who gets paid $10,000 for 6 months of work? You know, it's decent, but it's not either that's gonna make me live for 7 years like I have. My Oracle actually brought me a little bit, but not that much. So for since 2015, I started that. Even before that, I started writing the travel books and everything. So almost 10 years, I never made any paycheck. Nothing. I was living on my husband's paycheck or on credit cards. So what is it that kept me going is, of course, this vision for something bigger than me. But that's not enough. You can't live for something bigger than yourself, because comes a point that you're blocked, and if you don't have a gratification for yourself, if you're continuously promoting other people, supporting other people who in return never buy any of your products, I'm sorry, I'm grateful, amazingly, feel lucky for the support I've had from amazing geniuses spiritually, right? But at some point, if you don't feel reciprocity when you write to people, or who never buy your products or support you, you get to a point that you're just empty. I feel empty. I don't feel supported. I feel betrayed, that people and this is my own perception. This is not necessarily what people's intention are. You know, everybody has their own life. I'm not the center of the world. I'm just sharing this video because people can believe in social media that have become really part of a community, but then people have no problem just watching you grind, and not because they don't want to interfere, and you have to do it on your own. And I really feel betrayed because of that, because I've tried to help people who didn't have a house. I've tried to welcome them in my house. I've tried to partner with people. Every time I met talented people, I was like, hey, let's partner, let's do something together. We did events in Jacksonville when there were nonprofit organizations who needed an art teacher. I went there and I volunteered. The farm, I went and I volunteered. Every time, I always answered the call. And now I'm feeling in this situation that I don't even want to. I feel empty. I started these team buildings. 200 pages, like promoting a bunch of people that I admired, and now I feel like I'm left alone in my problems, you know, and I'm like, who shows up for you when you need it, you know? And people who could help you just like that. At least for a word to say, yes, we're going to publish your book, go ahead. You know, we're going to make you a contract. When I made my Oracle, I wrote to the publisher and they made me a contract to say, okay, you have a year to finish your Oracle. This is an advance to keep you going. But now, why would I keep working with nothing? No guarantee of anything, just to keep me going down the rabbit hole. This is how I feel. Completely demotivated. My Instagram account being shut down, with all of my work, all of my text disappeared. Years, this was a part of the influence. And this is where I want to go, because the work I'm doing, or I was doing even through my Instagram, it's also who sees the message every day? Who do you influence every day? What love I'm spreading? What bridges I'm trying to create in between the people and organizations, and even friendships or love relationships. Love is important, you know, the thing. Sometimes you see something in the morning, you see one post, one quote, something that will inspire you, when you will remember for the rest of the day, and it can change the course of someone's life, you know. So all of my work on Instagram never brought me any money, but I do believe that it's also important, you know. And it's not because you didn't write the book or you didn't have something published yet that you're lazy or you're procrastinating. Everything that you do, for me, what is better? Someone who's gonna write a book for you, or someone who's there, who shows up, who calls you, um, who tells you they're here or inspires you? Like, for me, the love is so much more important. I thought that what I was doing mattered, but now I realized all this time was wasted, because you can love as much as you want the people, then they don't really care. And that's the thing, is like, social media is not the real life. Don't get too, of course, get the inspiration that you can, from what you see, and if it can inspire you in your project, in your life, but don't get down that rabbit hole, believing or believing in things when you don't have a concrete proof. Like, if people don't answer to you, it means no, and for me, in my head, I was continuously promoting this language of art, the language of symbols, because I was like, this is how you communicate telepathically, and yes, it's beautiful, but we live in the 3D world. We came here to manifest the relationship, the projects, the whatever, the creations. So that's my mistakes to believe that all this spiritual realm was going to lead to something that was going to manifest. Before, I was way more successful before Instagram, before my page on Facebook, all of that. Actually, I had the best jobs, I published my oracle, all of that was before Instagram, before I tried to go to my next levels and stuff like that. It was when I was just happy in my moment with what I was doing. I was painting a painting, and leading to the next painting, and leading to the next painting. And then in the end, I wrote an oracle. I wasn't just like looking for the next big thing. And sometimes when you look for the next big thing, you're not in the present, because you're so much focused in the future. So I wish a year ago, I was thinking about it this morning. I was like, man, this video that I'm making today, I wished a year ago that I would make a video saying how I've been through it. Oh my God. And that, I kept believing, and it manifested, and I created it. And now it's not that I'm not able to, I can, but I don't want to. When I see how people treat each other, yeah, the best people, they have their shows, they have their amazing spiritual community content and stuff, but how do they treat one says a lot. Do I want to be involved with that? Honestly, for me, yes. I did believe that someone was going to come and save me. Sometimes I believe I'm going to go get a job, like in the movies, and someone is going to come and knock at the door and be like, hey, what are you doing? We want you to come and work with us now, okay? You're worth more than that. But then it was just disappointment after disappointment. And like, this is not real. Like, the world is really, it makes me sad that people get into those mentalities and they believe that. This is not, I've been fighting for it since the beginning. We should not promote that no one is coming to save you. We should not promote that. We should promote that, yes, believe that people are going to come to save you. Because have you ever gone and helped someone? Have you ever, I don't know, for me, every time I pass by the street and I see someone sleeping on the floor, I have to go and give them something. Well, I can't do every time, but I have to go and give them something without them begging. Imagine the position you put people in, that they have to come and beg you. No, you see someone who's in trouble, my friend, I'm like, hey, if you need a place to stay, okay, you can come here. Well, of course, sometimes I regret it, because then people come in my house and they're completely crazy, and then I'm in a situation that I have to kick them out. But at least I took the chance on helping someone, So pretty disgusted by humans, to be honest with you, but I wish you all the best. Really, yeah, always did and always will. So I wanted to make a little oracle about the spirit animals, because talking back to Pachamama, this is why I started the Pachamama art after Peru. Because yes, when I was in Peru 12 years ago, it's not necessarily that I had I really discovered this connection with the nature that was really amplified, okay? Phenomenon happening directly in front of your eyes when I'm in Peru. And if you watch my videos from Peru, from this trip, you will see in the mountains, I always see faces in the mountains, in the river, in the rocks. There's the spirits, the elementals, they are very visible in the Andes. Okay, because this is the land of the Incas. The Incas, they were animists for a reason, because they are so present there. And once you see it, it's not that they're more present than everywhere else, because then that followed me everywhere. Once you see it, you learn to have this double vision, and then you see it everywhere, even in the cities, even in your home, even in America, everywhere. Okay? But going back there, and when we went to Copacabana, we saw these lights. So I wanted to get back to that once again, because the video on my YouTube is called Stars on Water. You can look at that. And that was really crazy. We were in a hotel room, and I was packing, and Esteban was playing on the phone. And at the same time, we both dropped what we were doing, and we came at the window without saying anything to each other. In my head, I had this go to the window, and I guess Esteban too, because we both dropped and got to the window. And as soon as we got to the window, giant lightning went all over the sky. All over the sky, like, you know, like the branches of the lightning, like everywhere. And this was literally 5 minutes after Esteban was on WhatsApp trying to call his dad, and he was like, "Daddy, call me daddy. Hey, daddy, give me a call. I'm about to go to bed. Hey, call me daddy, call me daddy." He sent him, like, not to be kidding, like almost 20 messages. And 5 minutes after that, we get to the window, the lightning comes, and we're like, wow, giant thunder. And all of a sudden, all the lights, all tiny lights, so tiny lights flying like this around the boats on the lake. And it was not the reflection of the lights from the city on the boats, on the windows, because they were really, so on the videos you can't see really well, but my hotel was literally by the beach, and it was like I was there. I could see it like I can see these cars right now. It was lights flying all around the boats like this. It was incredible, and this lasted for hours. All over the lake, all around the boats, there were these lights that came. That was really incredible. And so I really felt, you know, the presence, like, okay, when you call them, they come. And so after that, I was kind of, you know, I was happy I took the trip because I promised Esteban, but at the same time, I was sad because I feel like it was a mistake for me to go there, because I had just put my financial situation back on track. I sold my car, which is pretty much the only thing I have to sell, except my paintings. If anyone wants to buy the paintings, I'm going to talk about one of them in a minute. I just sold my car. I had just put my financial situation back on track. I was ready for a good start for the beginning of the year. And then I got drawn to this trip to Peru, and I had a lot of problems there. When my Facebook was shut down, the hotel that I reserved to one of my friends, I couldn't reach out to him, so I didn't have the address. So I had to book another hotel. So I paid twice for hotel. Then I had a problem. I had to pay twice for COVID test. I had to pay twice for my return flight, because of that COVID test. We got to the airport, and they're like, "Oh no, it's not the right COVID test. We need the molecular test." which I asked the ladies that we were taking the airplane and did the right test. Said, yeah, no problem. They just wanted to sell us that test. Get to the airport. The guy is like, no, you cannot get on the plane. He did not let us in. I had to pay for emergency molecular test. At the airport, I had to buy new plane ticket for last minute that were $600 for just a flight from Cusco to Lima. So for both Esteban and we had lots of problems that ended up going to Bolivia. The visa was very expensive. I had to spend almost $400. I mean, a lot of problems that spent a lot of money, and I spent thousands and thousands of dollars on this trip that I regretted that I took it, to be honest, because Esteban, that was great for him. I'm happy he did it, but now I'm back to being in a catastrophic financial situation, which I could have spared myself. So I was really mad at myself. And anyways, sometimes you shouldn't listen to the voice of the heart, and you should listen to your reason. And like I said, trust what's real. Don't trust whatever you believe, or we live in a material world, and in the end, your electricity company is not going to ask you for excuses, or the mortgage company, when you can't pay, you kicked out of your place. So this is the kind of anxiety I've been living in for 3 years, and disappointed on the people around me, not motivated for, even though it's nobody else's fault. Okay, it's my own fault for putting myself in this situation. Of course, you have to take your own responsibility, but which is why now I'm completely not motivated to continue and to write and promote people who won't even want to take the minute to write to you or partner with you. So yeah, so I'm really back to the origins, right? The origins, I was not working with anybody. It was way much better for myself. Was a lot more successful when I was not trying to work with anyone or associate with humans. And I was connected to nature and the animals. And so I'm saying all this, not just to complain, but because then I was really in depression. I got back from the trip, plus I had COVID from the airplane. So I was sleeping the first week, and I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to do anything. Looking for a job. And then, being in that state of mind, I was complaining no one ever shows up, And we go to the beach, and who shows up? Dolphins. So of course I have my friend Davy who showed up, and we decided to go to the beach together. And we go to the beach, and it was one of my dreams. I've always wanted to swim with dolphins, but not in an aquarium or something where I have to pay for it, right? One of my dreams was to swim with dolphins in the wild, right, at the beach. I swam with sharks before when I was in Thailand. I was swimming, snorkeling, and there's a pod of sharks that came, and I literally swam with the sharks. I was right over them. And at the beach yesterday, Sunday, a bunch of dolphins started coming, and they just stayed right where we were. They came back and forth, and they were just staying there. So I was like, wow, it's an invitation. So I took a few pictures, and I put my phone down. I went down to the water, and they stayed. They waited for me. And when I got there, and that was crazy, because it's like I was in the water, and like you see the fin like came right towards me. That was impressive. And that was a very weird feeling. I didn't know if I was scared or excited, because they had a baby. It was 2 dolphins and a baby in the middle, and I think there was another group next to it, but there was another, I think, but mostly this is the 3 that I saw. Plus that one that came like straight facing to me, and then the 3, they come like right in front of me, and I started swimming next to them. Oh my god, that was I didn't want to do too many movements because I know dolphins can attack you if they're with baby, and they feel, of course, attacked. But that was incredible. That made my day, and it made me realize that really took me back to the roots, and like forget about humans and get back to nature, because nature always answers the call. And so I'm making this video maybe mostly for people, so I don't have many followers, but maybe one day the right person, it will fall, of course, in the hands of the right persons, but mostly for women who are by themselves, because I see a lot of women who are like, oh, nothing can stop me. Yeah, it's easy. You're married, you have someone who pays your bills. I've been there. Nothing could stop me either. When you're already successful, and mostly I see a lot of men. So why are there so many successful men? Because first off, they don't have the same responsibilities as women. I'm sorry, if you have kids, and you have a woman, your wife at home taking care of your kids, I'm not saying you're doing less, because most of the men that are very inspiring, they do so much. They're super hard workers, and of course they're into action, and they're amazing. But it's not the same as when you have a child and you constantly have the responsibility of the child, and you can't really do anything because the child is constantly interrupting or coming, or you have nobody to support you financially. Or I mean, the situation I'm put in right now, I remember things that I said before that now I'm like, well, it was easy for me to say that. It was easy for me to say, the law of attraction, because I didn't really have the fear of lacking. Everything for me started, all the trouble started when my husband and we started talking about divorce, and we were, I was threatened to lose everything. And since that day, I had that fear within me that I was going to lose my house, I was going to lose everything. So how am I going to be able to afford and to buy that mortgage? Since the day I had this anxiety, this is when nothing has been working. Because I don't know, this is the block, right? I'm just terrified I'm gonna lose it all, and guess what? This is what's happening. But also, it's not because I'm right now, considering my work situation, I'm not stopping to work because of fear of not succeeding. It's because I'm fed up. I'm fed up with the way people treat each other. This is the why. This is not why I'm scared of not succeeding. I've tried many times and it didn't bring the results I just don't want. I'm fed up. Not scared. I'm fed up of putting my energy in things that don't bring results. So anyways, the animals. So if you're in a situation where, the men, many men that are successful, why is there so many women that admire them? Because it's rare to have men that have inspiring speech and who show themselves available, right, for women and stuff like that. And so when women see that, we're like, oh my God, wow, they're exceptional, and so then you idealize them. But don't get it wrong, like, it doesn't matter what they say, okay? What matters is how they treat people, how they actually treat each other. And for me, I was the special person, that everybody ignores, like never reply to the comments or act like I don't even exist. I don't know, maybe special treatment. I don't know, how to be tougher on me or whatever. But that just sometimes being tough, and I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying my own perception. Sometimes being tough doesn't make you stronger. Being tough doesn't make you stronger. Being tough for me, that just made me give up my inspiration, my confidence. No, tough times don't make you stronger, honestly. Made me disgusted mostly. All right, let's talk animals. And animals, they're so pure. There's no manipulation with animals. There's no fake things, that sometimes I feel like I'm always complaining and stuff, but when I'm happy, when I love people, when I say something nice, I mean it, I mean it. And then when I'm mad and I'm disappointed, I mean it too. There will never be a fake attitude, and the animals also, wow, look at that. The animals also don't fake it. Okay, dolphin spirit, this and that are true. All right, I'm gonna pick another one. Here, the first one, swan. The swan spirit, time for a deep dive. Yeah, in jail. I'm gonna end up if I don't pay my bills. All right, let's start with the 20. Dolphin spirit, this and that are true. Dolphin spirit, like her earthly manifestation, is a reminder of duality. Oh yeah, oh my god. And also, I am freaking tired of seeing like these people who are successful and they have it all and they keep saying, oh, you're falling into this duality thing. Yeah, you're damn right, I'm falling into this duality, because who comes and help you mostly when you could? Yeah, but keep analyzing, right? Don't help, don't come, don't show up. Mostly people who could have showed up and decided not to show up, for your own good. Yeah, this is not for my own good. I'm been wasting years of my life waiting for people who never showed up. As the dolphin is both mammal and sea creature, so too is dolphin spirit, both this and that. Two truths coexist, the story you tell and another as well. The duality of life is present when we are suffering, for there is a blessing too in the helpers that appear. Within clouds are silver linings. When we later reflect on what happened, we can see that the situation was both this and that, and a choice led to both joy and sorrow. No relationship is either all good or all bad, and people have qualities of both light and shadow. Focus on the positive, for light exists alongside the darkness. Dolphin spirit calls for you to come up from below and enjoy a weightless moment in the sun as you dive in and out of this, in and out of this, and then that, accepting and even enjoying the duality of life. Why not join dolphin spirit in acknowledging and affirming the blessings present in this moment? In all areas of your life, there are aspects of both this and that. Today, you can celebrate this fact and recognize the complexity and the beauty of the fabric of the universe. Also, something that I wanted to say to some people that have a hard time manifesting as well, like for me, I feel like it's impossible to make a cent, is because sometimes sometimes I feel like I'm in another dimension. I don't feel like I'm in the same dimension. And so there's a lot of people that are connected to angel spirits, and they live in those realms, but they're not grounded and able to manifest, right? This is what I feel like. I feel like I'm not from this world, and this is why I'm not manifesting, and which I am manifesting. Like I manifested this house, I manifested all my travel around the world, I manifested the amazing people, the community I got inspired from. I manifested all that. But since the day that the responsibility, like, I felt in America, we have a lot of bills. Like, it's a lot of bills. It's like yesterday, there's a guy, he comes, like, my thermostat from the AC is broken, and he's like, oh yeah, it's just gonna be a $900. $900 for a freaking thermostat? Like, man, everything is $200 there, $1,000 there. It's like cat food, $400 a month, man. These cats. It's so much. It's so much. I just don't feel like I can be a part of this. How? I don't know. It's like I have the tree of life in front of me with the roots, the branches and the roots going down. Like, who gotta manifest both ways. But there is obviously a block. There's a block. The block for me is the reciprocity, the love. I feel like I've been giving so much in terms of love and materially as well, and I feel like it's one way, and because I feel betrayed in this way, I'm not able to manifest in the other areas of my life. You're at a place right now where your past self is still present as you move towards the new self you are becoming. Aspects of both selves are present. So even if you want to say goodbye to what was, you're required to find solace in this between time. Today is not a day to choose one over another, but rather to accept things as they are without judgment or resistance. Oh yeah, I judge. Even in matters of the heart, duality is present. Your next action will be obvious when you drop your bias and see things as a whole. You see, it's like I don't even... So when you most want to be acknowledged as right and see others as wrong, other ways as wrong, Dolphin Spirit appears as a reminder that the story of your suffering and righteousness is a little more complicated than you are admitting right now. Do you want to see things in a black and white and be rigid in your ideas of what's correct and what is not? Release your rigidity and embrace the fluidity of life as you recognize the grace that remind you there are two sides of every story, an upside to each downside, and a blessing in every challenge. What you think is wrong may end up being right for you. So let Dolphin Spirit soften your heart so that you make the best decision. Yeah. Oh, that makes me yawn. I don't even believe in those stuff anymore. That's the sad thing. That's the sad thing, man. It's like I believed so much. And I just seen like I'm just fed up. I just don't... I'm reading those all the spirituality, all the law of attraction, the positive mindset, all of that. Now it's, to me, it doesn't relate. I don't relate to any of these at all. It's, you're trying to make a reconciliation, write to people, and the next day they're hiring nuclear specialists and spraying chemtrails over your beach or your house, and you're like, how did they hack your Instagram account? Like, how is that a reconciliation? Sometimes you need people to say the truth, mostly here in America. I was talking about it to a friend, and it's like people don't want to talk about what's wrong. It's got to be the law of positivity. No, not everything is right. Not everything is good. I'm sorry. And people, there needs to be accountability as well. People who hurt you and then they just don't give a crap. You're like, okay, what to do? I mean, You can force people to be friends with you, of course, but then like people are so isolated. We're like, oh, social media, yeah, we have a community online on social media, but in the end we don't go out to meet up each other anymore. I don't know, when I'm in France, I'm never in my home, I'm always out with my friends. We go out and do stuff. Here everybody's in their house, their family, their business. We're connecting spiritually, but then people are depressed because they're disconnected for real for the rest of the world. It's like a matrix. They're plugged in online, and you look outside and there's nobody outside. There's nobody in the street. There's no kids playing outside. There's no neighbors chit-chatting on the side of the road or doing potlucks. Doesn't exist anymore. Swan spirit. Time for a deep dive. And I'm not criticizing because I'm the same. I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody. When people call me like, hey, can I stop by? I'm like, unless it's Davi and we hang out. I have one friend. Otherwise, I don't want to go see people or talk to people or do play dates or hear noises. I just like, bzz. I think our brain is frozen from this social media. With their graceful long necks, swans are able to reach into the depth. Oh, I can't read. Every time I read, I'm yawning. Okay, when swan spirit arrives, you are called to take a deep dive beyond what is easily available on the surface. You may think you know what is best for you now, but take the plunge into the depth of your awareness, for there is knowledge you are not aware of and great treasures to discover. Deeper understanding awaits, and a perspective that comes from greater self-knowledge is what you need right now to better understand a situation or relationship. As you come to know yourself, you will come to better know others. So Swan Period asks you to go beyond the surface of what is happening between you and others and resist the temptation to judge by superficial appearances. Know there is much deeper potential for loving connection, forgiveness, and mutual understanding. Choose to dive deep into your why, asking the deeper questions of yourself. You are led by the grace of Swan Spirit. See, don't talk yourself into diving deep into something just because you see the potential of things instead of what they really are now. And this is something really that sometimes I feel like people, they see, oh, the potential. Oh my God, you have so much potential. Yeah, you should be doing this. Oh, you can achieve that. No, but who am I now? Who am I now? Do you love me, or do you love someone for what they can be, what they could be, or for who they are now? That's also the thing. We're always looking for the next big thing. And sometimes I see my friend who is not on social media and she's got her garden and she's got the middle life with her kids and she's way happier than running after this success and trying to be the next big thing. And I'm like, me personally, I just want to buy my house. That's all I want in my life. I just want to buy my house. I want a job or whatever, and you know why? Because everybody should have a roof over their head. They should be given to everybody. Everybody deserves to have a beautiful house. And then you can do whatever you love as a passion. And for me right now, I'm frustrated because I can't pay my bills and I don't have time, I don't have the availability to focus on the stuff that I love to do or love to write, or the things that I would do even for free, I used to do for free, because it's not making me money. And if I can't pay my bills and I'm constantly stressed out about next month, I can't focus on anything else. I can't be writing a book about reconciliation when none of them has been wanting to hire me or help me in a way that could take me past survival. You can hear the thunder. The nature is behind me as well, always. And this is when I know that I'm in the right. I don't need some cards to tell me that this or that. I don't need people to tell me how I've got to be. I see that I'm right when I go out in nature and nature shows up for me and I'm connected to nature. And I know that the feelings that I have, I'm connected to the collective consciousness. I'm not the only one feeling this way. There's thousands, many people and women who, even worse than me, stay in a marriage where they're not happy, and just because they don't have the finances to leave. People who are depressed, and even though they have everything to be happy, just like me, I'm healthy, I have the house, I just need a job. And when you take a step back and you look at it, I'm like, my situation is really not dramatic at all. But for me, in everyday life, I'm here, like it hurts right now because I feel not understood, I feel lonely, I feel not able, I feel like I have so much potential and right to wrote to so many people, looked for jobs, never an answer, and you're like, wow. Sorry, I'm like, and you feel like you have all this potential and it's not manifesting, and you're like, man, there's something wrong in the world. I just want to scream it. I just want to shout it. And I know it's not just me, it's many people. And you see, supposedly you're supposed to have the road to success and stuff, but this is just making people feel like less than, you know? And if you have people around you that they're making you feel less than them because you're not successful like them, or you're not, writing the book or whatever. I wrote an oracle, I wrote another oracle, I wrote an art retreat, I have programs ready, and it's never enough. There's some people, for them, it's never enough. So go away from those people. Yes, I went away from the people who told me, you're crazy, it's all in your head. I lost a lot of friends like that. For people that I felt like, we're gonna align to that. And then for them, if they make me feel like I'm less than, I'm not enough, and I'm staying away from those people as well. Now I want to be with people who align with me, who I am. Be with people who are okay with who you are, and they're not telling you should be more, or you should less of a dreamer or more of a dreamer or whatever. But life can only be in the present. Okay, if you're in the present, and if you're in the present, you will slowly build. Like when I did my oracle, like when I found my jobs, I went to Peru, I was in the present. I went to the Sacred Valley, I was in the present. Then I found a job, I was in the present. And when you're running for the next thing, then you miss the present moment. So that was my whole thing for today. So align. At this point, I wish my message was, find a community, align, partner with people, and go save people, or wait for people to save you, because yes, angels come to save you. And now it's sad, but don't expect from humans, even though this is not the message I want to say. I would say align with nature, go back in nature, go with animals. Okay, the people who don't have those, whatever, I don't know, I don't even have words right now. Anyways, this is a beautiful crystal that I bought in Machu Picchu. This is from the Rainbow Mountains. It's a beautiful flame. I love it. And I got this giant crystal as well that I found. Also, it's perfect. Look at that. I land with crystals. All I have in my house is animals and crystals, and I want a dog. That's it. I don't want people. I don't want more books or support. I don't need to align with something bigger than me because I already am connected to the whole entire world and the universe that is bigger than me. And when I follow me, I am aligning with something bigger than me. I am the collective consciousness. I am you and you are me. Okay? Stop trying to be this, what you're not. Okay? If they don't love you for what you are and want to take the step together with you, then it's not the right people. Okay, one more from my oracle. Oh yeah, so I want to show you this one. So this one is called Moods. It's one of my favorites. I mean, they're all my favorites, otherwise I wouldn't paint them, except sometimes I'm like, yeah, maybe I wouldn't do it like that, but I love this one. Represent the color spectrum and all the emotions that we can feel, and how all the colors represent emotions. So what colors do you associate? So this is something that was in my Timberlings. And you know, I always keep making these videos because I'm like, I feel better. Actually, I had a block in my throat and now I expressed it and I feel better. Maybe because, wait, what time is it? I need to pick up my son. Oh no, I'm good. When I have something that comes in my throat and I need to record a video like that, it's not just me. It's because I know there is someone out there who feels the same and maybe needs that. And mostly women. There's a lot of women, you know, that don't feel, because women, we're more into the emotions, you know, so we attach to these celebrities online and we feel like they're so much better because they have an inspiring message, but then we disregard the people that are around us and we're like, oh, they don't understand and stuff like that. And then you know, nobody calls me. I lost almost all of my friends. And then I'm like, I don't want to. There's a storm outside. I don't want to. You know, I'm like, look, I'm mad at the people. In general, I'm mad at the people because my content was so good. I had just as much work, just as much passion, just as much quality of work as some people who had millions of followers on social media. But people come to your page and they're like, oh, she's got only 500 followers. I'm not gonna stick around, you know, because, oh, they want to be in the stack, you know. If you're not the big thing, then they disregard you, you know, just like the publishers writing to publishers and they be like, oh no, this is too childish. Yeah, this is for children. The children, they're the future generation. This is the world, the children. So when you have a project and they tell you it's too childish, I'm sorry, you're complete, and then you call yourself spiritual, you're completely missing out on the future of the world, on building the new world. And I'm like, I'm mad at those people who disregarded me, and I'm like, why would I create something when they're like, help someone? Why would I create something to help people who disregarded me, or the people who made me feel less than, or people who completely passed by? And I'm like, well, you didn't want it when I was completely unknown and famous, then why would I do that when nobody, if everybody who follows me, they bought one thing from me, I would never be complaining on my financial situation. I would be able to do the same work I've always been doing and not live in this anxiety that now is preventing me from doing everything else. Why would I do that for people? Why am I going to promote people who never promoted me back? And so I'm like, I give up. And then there's this other part of me, and I feel like there's other people, there's someone that is not responsible for any of that, that is living in the same situation and that is isolated, and humans don't talk to each other anymore, and we're missing out on life, and we're building a new world that's completely bullshit, and nobody supports each other with the mentality that no one will come to save you and that magic doesn't exist. No, I'm sorry, there is magic. It's all around us. It's every day. And then I'm like, okay, no, I have to speak up. I have to share it, and I have to tell people, like, for example, I know it bothers people that I'm constantly complaining on my social media and that lost a lot of followers like that. And I don't care, because people need to understand that it's truth, it's realness, it's love. And so I'm coming to that painting now, because all emotions come from love. Okay, so when you have passion, when you have love, encouragement, excitement, it doesn't prevent me from being happy for the others. I'm happy when I see other people's happiness. I never wish wrong for others. I just withdraw myself because I'm just tired of trying to be part of communities that just don't want me. But this is out of love. When you're angry, when I'm angry at chemtrails and stuff like that, why? It's out of love, because I love the world and I love the people, and I know that when they're spraying chemtrails, it generates disease and it gets literally into our skin, and over the generation it modifies our DNA. This is why it's constantly sprayed over and over. This is why when you're constantly spreading knowledge, right, it's 1 layer, 2 layers, 3 layers, and the more you hear it. And this is why I keep yelling, because I'm like, if people don't like it yelling, they're happy with everything. They're happy that you know what? Yeah, I don't mow the lawn because I don't know how to use the lawnmower, and I have zero interest for it either. I don't want anybody to do it for me. But the community association, what are they gonna do? They're gonna write me a letter, stick it to my door saying you have to mow the lawn. You think that the guy who took the time to write the letter and deliver it to me, he could be like, oh, maybe she needs help. Maybe we're gonna mow the lawn for her. Why? People that are so, oh, let's respect the law. There's the cop who comes and is like, oh, you're driving 5 miles over an hour, 5 miles over the speed limit, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. How about there was my kid screaming on the back of the car, and why about you give me a mojito so I can have a better day? I mean, I don't know. It's just like this mentality of people that are satisfied with the law, they're satisfied with the rules, and stuff's gotta be a certain way, but instead of coming and helping others and doing a shout out. So it's out of love. When you're yelling and you're telling people what's wrong and trying to identify the problem, it doesn't mean that I'm the problem. It means that I love the world and I still want to help and contribute. And you have to identify the problem so you can make it better. Okay? When you're jealous, jealousy is out of love. You're not jealous of someone if you don't love them. Okay? Anger or fear. When I yell at Esteban, most of the time when I yelled at Esteban, oh my God, we were in Machu Picchu and we're climbing this Huayna Picchu, and I'm about to take a picture, and I sit him in a safe place, because this stuff is dangerous. It's literally us and a cliff, right? So if we fall, we die. So there's no room for accident. So I sit him there, and I'm like, okay, sit there, and I turn around to take a picture. I turn around to take a picture, and he starts jumping, and then he jumps on me, and then he starts like dancing or going crazy, and I get mad. I'm like, Esteban, right now you need to listen to me, and I'm mad, and it's not out of anger or hate. It's because I love him. It's because I want to keep him safe. I tell him, I'm like, Esteban, there's places we can be silly and all and screaming and dance. Right here, right now, there is a very small space. It's raining. It's slippery. We're not dancing. We're climbing. We're sitting down. We're observing the view. But that's it. There's some points you need to listen to me. No questions. No discussion. You listen to me, and that's it. And because I love him and I want him to be safe. Okay, so all of the emotion, the source of all the emotions is love. When you're mad at someone because they didn't love you, or they didn't call you, or they didn't, there was no reciprocity, it's out of love because you wish the love was reciprocal, and it was not. So if we would be more understanding to each other and trying to understand and meet people in the middle, not be just like, I'm doing it my way and only my way. Well, if you were all by yourself in a world of 8 billion people, that would be amazing, but you're not alone. There's other people. And if you're really creating a community, and if you really care about the people, and you know someone desperately needs attention or help, but meet them in the middle. I just can't stand people who are just so, of course, you can't force others, and this is when you know it's time to, you decide who you want to keep in your life or not. If you're never able to meet someone in the middle, you're always compromising, forgiving, cheering, but you have those needs that are never met. Someone who will not reply to you, or reply next to the answer, or just trying to avoid the conversation, or then it's people who are just don't want to tell you that they don't want you in your life, and then you have to accept it and take another direction. So yeah, human relationships, maybe once again people are going to say she's procrastinating, this is just blah blah, but it's not blah blah, because human relationship, this is the source of everything, of all the desperation in the world. People need partners. How do you meet someone nowadays? How do you meet if people don't go out anymore, if it's all on the internet, and then when you write to people they don't answer to you? How do you start a relationship? People are more and more introverts. We are more extrovert in front of a camera by yourselves talking on YouTube, that people can see you from all the other side of the world, but we'll not have a conversation with the people that are living right next to us. And there's more and more. I don't know, I don't go out, but I feel there's more and more people who are single, like the singles stay single for longer. And this is the life in America. The distances are a lot further. In France, you walk everywhere, so you're outside, you meet people, you go to cafe or boutique, you talk around. Here, people are more and more introvert. The communication, social media is fakest more than ever. And I don't know, I just want to say, we need to start again, force ourselves. See, the other day I didn't want to go out, and David was like, no, let's go out, let's go, and then once you're out and doing things, and you're like, oh wow, but it's easier for, I don't know, I feel like my life changed when I had my child. I just felt like overwhelmed with responsibilities, and my individuality taken, and it's also when you have a child, like, in Peru, I'm happy I did it because he saw something different. He walked, he learned to walk, he learned to be patient, but he was complaining all the time, all the time. I've never seen something like this. It's like you go out, it's like you have a child, you can't just be like, oh yeah, okay, cool, let's do it, I'm on my way, let's go. It's like you have to get ready. Come on, can you get dressed? Go brush your teeth. Come on, let's go. It's like an hour before you step out the door, and the cute, amazing, dear kid wants to listen to you and actually come and get ready and get out. And then when you go out, you're at the restaurant. I don't want to eat this. Let's go. I'm bored. Can I use your phone? It's like, and I love him. I love him. We've got the greatest moments, but there's some kids that just complain all the time. And even though I didn't raise him like that, I wasn't angry like that. I was never. It's since I have my child that, and then I stopped going out. Every time I would go out, it was just like noise, screaming, complaining. I was like, okay, I just want to be in my house, put him in front of a cartoon, lock myself in my room because I need silence and I don't want to do anything else. And so mostly for single parents, this is the hardest. So lots, I think, of single parents who just give up on doing things. Like for me, it's not fun to go out. It's not. It's like it's gotta be dealing with tantrums and stuff. And I'm like, oh, he's growing, it'll be better. So now when he goes to school, when they go to school, it gets a little bit easier. But yeah, relationships. This is important. Love is important. It's not just productivity and what you create. It's also how you treat each other and how you stand for each other. Okay, have I ever not supported even people who treated me like crap? Have I ever not supported them? And not everybody, because there are people who still support me and that I'm super grateful. Of course, I have to mention that, who are here and, you know, support on the social media, or always say something kind in their conferences and stuff like that. So of course I see it and I appreciate it. And this is the small thing. It doesn't cost anything and it makes my day every time. And you see, we should be more like that. So human qualities, for me, they're more important to every success you can ever have, or money you can make, and, you know, whatever accomplishments you can have, how you treat people. And or like, I have someone, she comes in my house like she doesn't have a house. No, seriously, there's some people, they're completely crazy. She doesn't have a place. She calls me, she's like, hey, I'm moving to Jacksonville, I'm moving this day, April 19 or whatever date. I don't have a place to stay. Do you know someone? Of course. She knows I have a big house and rooms and stuff. Okay, well, you know, I take a few days to think about it. I can sleep at night because I have a friend who doesn't have a place to stay. All right, well, why don't you come and stay with me with your 3 kids? Stays with me, never cleans anything. There, to the point that there's cockroaches in my kitchen. Like, every day I'm like, can you make an effort to clean up? Then I'm like, you know, you should buy a car because you're gonna run out of money and you're not gonna have a car. Guess what? Runs out of money, then I have to be the taxi driver, then no more money, I have to buy the food for them, when it's like, they know that I don't have, it's hard for me, I'm already helping them. And then I'm like, hey, you guys can clean up a little bit. Oh, but I pay rent. Yes, and because you pay rent, when you pay rent for a house, you still take care of the garden, you still clean up your stuff, you still buy for your gas, it doesn't come with maid included and stuff like that. And then criticize everything that I do, criticize my son, insults my son, yells at me, goes freaking hysterical on me in my house. Get the fuck out of here. Like, man, you try to help people, and because they pay you rent, they think they're gonna ruin your life? Hell no. Hell no. But anyways, at least I did my part. I tried to help, you know. It didn't work out. We made it last 2 months, but I went and I tried to help, you know. Anyways, yeah, I don't even know why I'm paying attention to that, but people are crazy. Get a dog, guys, get animals. Cats are crazy, but you know, at least they're you get to know the character. All right, everybody. What else? Oh yeah, I had this great book, The Kybalion, today. I wanted to read an extract. Let's see what's on page. Give me a page, guys. Here, 120. So you see, we are justified in refusing to use the term negative in our consideration of the subject and in insisting upon substituting the word feminine to the old term. The facts of the case bear us out in this without taking the Hermetic teachings into consideration. And so we shall use the word feminine in the place of negative in speaking of that pole of activity. The latest scientific teachings are that the creative corpuscles or electrons are feminine. Science says they're composed of negative electricity. We say they are composed of feminine energy. A feminine corpuscle becomes detached from, or rather leaves, a masculine corpuscle and starts on a new career. It actively seeks a union with a masculine corpuscle, I don't know, being urged thereto by the natural impulse to create new forms of matter or energy. One writer goes so far as to use the term it at once seeks of its own volitions a union, etc. This detachment and uniting from the basis of the greater part of the activities of the chemical world. When the feminine corpuscles unites with the masculine corpuscles, a certain process is begun. The feminine particles vibrate rapidly under the influence of the masculine energy and circle rapidly around the latter. The result is the birth of a new atom. This new atom is really composed of a union of the masculine and feminine electron or corpuscle, but when the union is formed, the atom is a separate thing, having certain properties but no longer manifesting the property of free electricity. The process of detachment or separation of the feminine electron is called ionization. Arising from their union or combination manifests the varied phenomena of light, heat, electricity, magnetism, attraction, repulsion, chemical affinity, and the reverse, and similar phenomena. All this arise from the operation of the principle of gender on the plane of energy. The part of the masculine principle seems to be that of directing a certain inherent energy towards the feminine principle and thus starting into activity the creative processes. But the feminine principle is the one always doing the active creative work. And this is so on all planes. And yet each principle is incapable of operative energy without the assistance of the other. In some of the forms of life, the two principles are combined in one organism. For that matter, everything in the organic world manifests both gender. There is always the masculine present in the feminine form and the feminine form. The Hermetic teachings include much regarding the operation of the two principles of gender and the production and manifestation of various forms of energy, but we do not deem it expedient to go into details regarding the same at this point, because we are unable to back up the same with scientific proof for the reason that science has not yet progressed thus far. But the example we have given you of the phenomena of the electrons of corpuscle will show you that science is on the right path and will also give you a general idea of underlying principles. Yeah, science, by the way, reminds me that first off, the union of feminine and masculine reminds me that is Dean and Lisa's anniversary today, marriage anniversary. I saw that on Instagram this morning, so I want to say happy anniversary. Love is beautiful. It does make me happy to see people happy, so this is a truth and inspires you to reach that one day, but also to be happy where I am and no longer be looking for, like I said, going further. And like, for example, I was creating this this mandala with the flying formula, right? The flying formula. And then now I learned that they're reopening all the nuclear plants and stuff in France, and you're like, man, we still have so much efforts. There is still so much work to be done, to change the world. But do we want to? Maybe we're meant to stay at this level. Maybe imagine if we could go invade the universe. Maybe this is why the technology is taking so long, because what would happen if humans started being able to go like this, at space-time speed, like time portals and stuff like that, go everywhere? Are we really mature enough, ready enough to go there? Well, they already have the technology, we just don't know. We don't know what we don't know, seriously. All right, everybody, I wish you get this eagle right here, this beautiful eagle from Egypt. Another artifact here. These make me happy. My little crystals and my statues. My house is like a museum. See? The Tumi. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. The Tumi. This one is from Peru. The god of medicine. I'm wearing this. That is crazy. So silver. Oh yeah, I will make another video. I have a bunch of cute necklaces, pendants that I brought back from Peru for my angel pack. If you buy my angel pack with those painting classes, you get one of the pendants and a magic wand. So the silver is a very great healing tool. The silver is a very good conductor for energy. As I was talking, my throat was burning the whole time I was talking for this session today. Now I feel a lot better, actually, and one more thing also, it's good to yell. It's good to tell your truth. It doesn't matter if people don't like it, if you keep it inside, if you never tell anybody what's wrong, first off, people can't know. It's like you're in a couple, you're in a couple, and they're like, what's wrong? Nothing, like everything's fine, but you're obviously not talking, and you're completely frustrated. And this is what happens when people stay there and you put this mentality in them, like, oh, but life, the law of attraction. Oh no, you're blocking yourself because out of fear. No, I'm not scared. I'm fed up. I'm angry. Whatever it is, let it out. Just let it out. So talk your stuff out, because otherwise they stay in there and then it turns into sickness. You can't imagine. I was sick in Peru. I had this breakout on my face because I was so mad. I woke up one day and I had it on my nose, on my lips, and then I got back, I had COVID. It's just like I had stuff on my feet. It's like my entire body, I was just breaking out from all over the place, because your energy manifests. Your energy does manifest. So if you're angry, it's better to let it out, right? So you can leave room for the new, or at least feel lighter. Okay, Esteban. Okay, everybody, I wish you a great day. It was kind of a session for nothing, just to do some oracle. And you see, I don't even relate that much to those stuff anymore, those oracles. It's more and more the elements. It's crazy. It's like I used to use a lot of books, a lot of oracles, and now it's not to brag, I just feel so powerful. It's like, maybe I'm not even to manifest a paycheck, but man, I can manifest a storm. It's like I'm so connected. Like when I'm mad, there's always a storm. When I'm sad, dolphins come. There's always something. So if you can't find your solace into a passion or humans, just nature, go out in nature, go take a trip, and And this trip again, look at my videos from Peru, and every time you will see there is always the faces in the water, in the river, in the mountain. You will always see the elementals, and this is you realize you're never alone. There is always a spirit with you. Okay, and when you feel something, most of the time there is an entity or something trying to talk through you as well. And if you have a message to come out, maybe it's a message that someone who's introvert or someone who's not able to to say the message that is saying is through you. For example, I know it's getting long, but I had this dream one day. I was in a marina. I dream I'm in a marina and I'm walking on a marina, and there's dolphins. And there's dolphins that come and they tell me to get in the water. So and just when they say that, there is a sign everywhere: do not get in the water, forbidden, don't get in the water. So dolphins are like, follow us. Of course, I jump in the water. As soon as I jump in the water, there's bullets, like the guards come and they're shooting at me in the water. I go deep, I dive deep, I get in the water, I follow them under, and the dolphins, they lead me to a door, a metal door under the water. So I get inside the door. There is a code, and I have a code from a book from the fire letters. I mean, that's weird because it's a dream, but yet I'm astral traveling into my library and taking codes in the book. I mean, it's really weird. So I open the door, and there is this lady, alien lady, with a kind of a long face, that color like that. She's waiting for me, and as soon as I get there, she stands up and she brings me a towel and she welcomes me like she was waiting. And I feel like she's a prisoner. She's there, she's a prisoner. And I look to my left and there is a hallway, and I feel like there's more people in there. And so this is when my mind interferes, and I'm like, wait, this is a very realistic dream. Like, am I dreaming? Is that real? This is very weird. And so when the mind, sometimes you have a dream that's so strong that the mind interferes like that, and you wake up. I need water. I can speak right now. And so I'll be right back. So I wake up. So after that, I don't pay attention to the dream. Of course, I keep the dream in mind. I'm like, what was that? That's crazy. Is that someone catching my attention from something? Is there really an underground facility with an alien held captive, or is it an alien contacting me to catch my attention to something that's happening there? Through dreams and stuff. Really, really strange. But what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna call the police like, hey, I had a dream, there was an alien, I don't even know where. Whatever. Months later, when the conflict with Ukraine started, I keep hearing in my head, Ukraine, Odessa. So I go on my computer, I write Ukraine, Odessa, and Marina, because the dream was in Marina, and I find the Marina, the place where I was in my dream. I find the exact Marina in Odessa, exactly the pier, everything. I see the pictures and all of that. So now I'm like, okay, now this is weird. I've never been to this place or heard about it before. I didn't even know there was a city in Ukraine. I dreamt about the place, and I print the map was like, I put arrows and everything. Then I sent those files out to the authorities, but I don't care if I was crazy. I was like, yeah, I had a dream. This is exactly here. There is an underground facilities. I think there is human trafficking. uh, and I don't care, of course, they thought I was crazy, but I mean, I did my part. Um, but just things like this. Why am I telling this story? I don't even know. And then I talked about the dream. Oh yeah, I talked about the wave, the dream of the wave. And my other, I think it was Make Love Not War. Yeah, so I have dreams like that very often, and you realize that yeah, we are in between many dimensions like that, but sometimes you get lost into that, and it's good also to disconnect a little bit and just to be back in reality. What do you want to be? You want to actually live a life, and sometimes I'm like, at that point I've put so much effort into my work and not sleeping at night and constantly asking myself questions and seeing how it jeopardized me in my own life, my financial life, my yeah, I'm at this survival point now that I that's all I'm interested in right now. I want to pay my bills. I want to buy my mortgage, and I'm like, I want to completely give up on everything, unless I have a good reason that shows up. But I'm like, maybe life is not that bad when you have a job and you come home and you're watching a movie on Netflix. You actually enjoy your evening and making food for my son and watching a movie together and not having to think, oh, I'm going to spend the night writing stuff. Maybe this is not as bad as an experience either, to actually live a simple life and not trying to explore, because the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. And so it's easy to go and to just keep digging and keep digging and keep digging. But what happens when you just keep looking and digging? Then you're never satisfied. You're never satisfied because you just want more of the truth. And then you realize maybe there's no truth at all. It's like there's so much everywhere. Maybe it's just that butterfly that's passing by, and this is the only truth you need to see today. I don't know. I know that for me, that just took me down so many roads and dramas, and thinking I was gonna get that crazy, amazing job, and in the end, you're just disappointed, and you're disappointed, and you're disappointed, and maybe sometimes you just want to have a simple life. And I see my neighbors spend an entire Sunday pulling out the weeds outside, and I'm like, man, I want to do that. I just want to sit there and pull out the weeds outside and not worry about, the whatever grade of earth and what we're gonna do in the reincarnation, stuff like that. It was just whatever. What do you think? Tell me. All right, guys. Thank you for watching an hour of a live and a half of me just talking. I would love to have conversation. Leave your comments, maybe your experiences, this kind of situation. Blue pill or red pill, I don't know. Tell me, let me know. And have a great day, everybody. Bye bye.